Mute, mute, mute. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nothing to Declare show. We're taking over the NTD show
Hello.
for today, and I'm with my friend over here,
Hello.
the African guy,
Hello.
actually Egyptian guy,
Hello.
Magdi. Magdi. So, how are you this? How are you today?
Oh, great. It's a nice day. It started. I felt very happy this morning.
It's
So very happy.
so very happy.
Yes, I'm
Why?
very happy.
So very happy.
I'm just being sarcastic.
You're not happy. You,
I had a terrible morning.
oh, why?
But anyway, it's okay.
Anyway, let's just take a moment to forget about terrible things. But yeah, this morning as well is kind of, I don't know, sad because the moment I opened my laptop and there's tons of news about the Ethiopian plane
Yeah,
crash
that was very sad though. It
that
it
killed
really made me sad yesterday.
157 people on board, and I've seen like latest footages and videos of how the plane crashed, and it kind of gave me anxiety because I just went on a recent trip this
Mm.
weekend and I've been on a plane and I was like the like inside when I'm on the plane, the pilot said we are now 41,000 feet higher.
Wow.
I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, we're like, so of course we're in a plane. And but I'm not like very most of the flight, most of the time on the flight I was always relaxed. There's no
Me
turbulence, the
too.
weather's really good. I can use the lavatory, I don't know, 3 times while on board.
Wow.
I keep drinking water. But anyway, it's just a short flight. I went to Thailand, and yeah, when I was there, I read about the news, and I was like, it's sad. And I've seen people who died, like
Mm.
people keep posting their selfies while
Yeah.
waiting for their flight, and there's also a former political commentator that works in
Mm.
CNN who died on that plane crash.
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever I travel, I always pray that that wasn't the last
Time you
plane
you
ride that
fly.
I'm gonna have. And seeing the video earlier this morning when I wake up, I feel like, thank you. I feel so blessed that nothing happened
Yeah.
on my flight, on my recent travel.
You know what made me feel sad about that is that, most of those people who are on an airplane, they are like, people who might be are working abroad just to support their families and
Mm-hmm.
help those.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like they were those people who go on tourism and stuff. So it's a great tragedy for their families and their kids.
Yeah.
Seeing hundreds of more than 100 families struggling, it's a real tragedy. And with all the technology we have nowadays, how come we still don't have the technology for all those past years on how to prevent such things from happening?
Yeah. There's also a recent news about the same aircraft who also crashed in Indonesian
Mm.
sea, I think, in, if I'm not mistaken, last year in August.
Yeah, there was like a couple of
So
them.
it's Boeing 737 is facing like a huge what do you call that? Huh? What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For their aircraft to stop, you know,
Operating.
no, no, like producing that certain type of aircraft.
Yeah.
But I've read on a recent article that there's still like their operation is ongoing. But if this tragic things keeps happening, they should double check everything,
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
it's the those things have to be taken more seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not, because good and bad things happen sometimes. And I tried the Ethiopian air flights
You
before, and
tried?
it's a really good service, very nice and stuff, very nice company to travel with.
Hmm.
Yeah, but uh, horrible stuff like this when they happen, they have to like to find
Hmm.
like what have caused this, was it like something that
Yeah.
was technical or
On recent news that's coming up, they
yeah,
already recovered the black box
yeah,
who recorded everything that happened on board before the plane
yes.
crashed.
And I was thinking like if this is happening like for certain for some companies and with all those victims throughout the past years, why doesn't the world look to this issue as something that's like a
Hmm.
global issue, as how much they are concerned about carbon and plastic?
Hmm.
Why don't they all like perform like a global commission to come up with a certain program that supports innovation that will prevent such accidents from happening?
Yeah. And traveling abroad is being, because of the internet, there's tons of people who like to discover
Yes.
other places, to, be wild and just to see new places for their experiences. Um, so I think the airlines, like airline company, needs to be very, very careful on, taking care of their aircraft, buying new aircraft.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
still the problem is that there is a probability and a possibility that this will happen.
Yeah, it's always possible.
You
Like
know.
I've experienced one of the terrible flight, which is just domestic flight. I was with my mom,
Mm.
and we are bound to Calibo, and it's really a bad weather. We got stranded in the airport for like 5 hours.
Wow.
And then we are on board for like an hour and a half because
Wow.
we couldn't take off because of the bad weather. So finally, we're already on the sky. Um, it's really a bad turbulence, and I feel bad for my mom because it's her first time to ride an airplane.
Wow.
And I was like,
Wow.
she was like,
It's not a good experience.
oh, she was so nervous, and I was like, I am also nervous, but I
Uh,
couldn't be more nervous than her. So I'm just relax. It's just an hour flight.
yeah.
We can survive. Then we survived, but it's kind of crazy because you will feel that the plane is shaking, and there's like lightning and thunder. It's
And a lot of
thunderstorm
turbulence.
outside, yeah, and it's raining so hard. And the passengers, there's like a group of, I don't know, teenagers, or
Mm.
like, I don't know if they're drunk, and they're like
Wow.
freaking out, but in a manner of they're trying to scare people.
Yeah.
And I was like, please don't do that.
Mm.
There's tons of people on board that might,
Have a heart attack.
heart attack. And then the flight attendant went to them, and they said, please don't make some noise, just relax. So I feel um how can I say this? So I am praying for all those passengers that was killed in that flight. There are 32 Kenyans, 18 Canadians, 8 Americans, and 7 British nationals that on board, and all didn't make it. But there were 2 people who missed the flight,
Wow.
who also became very emotional. because it's like their second life.
Yes.
So one of the guy is like screaming on, everyone already boarded and he was the last,
Mm.
but the boarding gate was closed. And then he yelled to the officer there to
Mm.
make him um be on the plane.
Mm.
And then the officer said no because he was late. So he's very thankful too, but also very emotional. Yeah. So whenever you guys are traveling, one of the tips I suggest is to get an insurance.
Get an insurance.
Whenever I don't have any insurance yet, and I don't know if I can say that I'm a frequent traveler. Maybe not really, but I do travel in a year. So whenever I go to the bank officers are like telling me, "Hey, you need to get an insurance because you're always out of the country.
Mm.
You never know what happens." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But I never get any life insurance yet. And also, it's probably important to get one because I'm the breadwinner of the family. If I die, I don't know what
Yeah,
will happen.
big
Big
responsibility.
responsibility. But anyway, that's a very sad. So I think in the Philippines, I don't know. I haven't heard any plane crash lately, but plane just small planes like the people who's studying to be a pilot.
Oh, training.
Yeah, training in a small plane. Oh, Phil is on inline. Oh, okay. So it's so hot outside. Do you
Yes.
feel that our
Oh
weather is
my.
getting hotter?
Getting
Because
terrible.
this time around, like it's now March to May. March to May is like
Is it
the
rainy
most,
season or
no, it's summer.
still dry season?
Dry season.
Very dry.
Very dry. Very dry. It's like so also this time is where most of the Filipinos travel to the beaches
Or go to Baguio
or
because
go
it's
to
cold.
Baguio or Tagaytay because they want to avoid the very hot weather in the city. So have you planned any summer trip? But
No,
but
I
you always
haven't planned.
always go to Baguio,
Yeah,
right?
I always go to Baguio. It's the best place to escape from the pollution of the city.
Yeah, I remember we went there. I think that was last year.
Mm.
And then we were do we are doing farming work and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So all of the people are like planning to go to the beach and I'm including I don't know, I'm probably gonna plan on taking my whole family on a vacation, going to the beach, doing barbecue,
Wow.
island hopping. But I was trying maybe we could visit the northern part of the Philippines, Subic, Pangasinan, something like that.
Pangasinan.
Yeah. So what else is happening in the news aside from the very, very sad news? We are looking for news. Hmm. Mm. So we are going to have Phil on the phone via Skype. This is my. Oops.
Hmm. Thank you.
So do we have him now? Out. Act. Okay. So I was like, if you were gonna check my browser, I was like trying to figure out
Hmm.
how I can get to Tagaytay riding a bus. Tagaytay is one
Oh,
of the.
you take the jackliner to Balibago, and then from Balibago you take the jeepney to Tagaytay.
Oh, you know. Oh my God, you're more local than I am.
Oh, very cool.
You're Pinoy.
Can
How?
y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's from Cavite,
Yeah.
not from Egypt.
Breakfast.
Hey,
Hi, Phil.
how are you doing,
How's it
Phil?
going, guys? Oh, not
Um,
too bad. I got to sleep in an hour.
mhm.
Sorry about that. I thought we were switching the show back because the time switched over in the U.S.
I know we've been doing the show like 10 a.m. since the past few weeks.
By the way, since we brought that up, I'd like to just take this time for all
Mm-hmm.
the poor people in the U.S. I'd like to say, I feel your pain. Daylight savings time sucks. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know, we don't have daylight savings time in the Philippines, which is a good thing because there are more on the job accidents and suicides and violent crimes and wrecks within like 2 weeks of of the time switching over.
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's completely useless. All it does is screw with people's schedules, in my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah. Also, a very, very sad news that we've lost a friend this over the weekend.
yep, yeah, Alex Redfoot,
Mm-mm.
yeah, friend of the show and a very close friend of Burdock's as well.
Yeah.
I
Um.
don't know. Did you listen to the story behind the story
No,
this
I
weekend?
wasn't. I didn't have the time yet because I was
Oh, it's
traveling.
heartbreaking. It
Have
really is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I
hard.
mean,
Do we
I,
have
I I'm
any?
glad I didn't call in because
Yeah.
I think Burdock and True, like I would have felt like a third wheel because both of them have known him for years.
Yes.
I knew him through the show and Skype messages and emails and talking to him in Slack, but
Mhm.
they had known him like personally for years, and it was really touching at the same time, really heartbreaking having them, memorialize him.
Yeah. Do we have any additional news on his death?
Now, from what I was listening, I think, or from what he was saying on the,
Mhm.
I think Burdock was saying that there was no notes. They didn't find any notes,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
they're hoping that you know. Yeah, what he said was that we're not gonna report anything
Mm.
at the Goldwater
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we, no conjecture or anything. But at the same time, personally, he was wondering why there wouldn't be any notes. And I noticed somebody commented, uh, what was it? This is a comment that we got just after midnight Philippines time, which was, around noonish on the East Coast.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll say it. This makes four or so big names die by claimed self-hanging in very recent years. It should start to get suspicious to some by now, because yeah, a lot of folks knew and really cared about Alex. Many of them were in the same position as me. Maybe they only knew him primarily from hearing him on the story behind the story or as a call into our show. But yeah, he was incredibly bright guy,
Yeah.
and
And he's been through a lot
you know,
lately, you know. He's been
oh
to
my gosh,
jail.
yeah, the what
You
was
can
it?
imagine the trauma.
Nearly spent his life in prison as a terrorist over a freaking paintball gun.
Yeah.
You know, and just the fact that it took they hired a private investigator. Just
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they hired a private investigator, and within weeks he was out, shows you that something funky was up with that story.
How long he
You know,
stayed in
like
the jail? It's like a month or just weeks?
wait, what's that?
How long did he stayed
Mm.
in the jail?
It was a few months, yeah. Because I remember
Few months.
even after they pretty much had him cleared, it was another like 4 to 6 weeks. So he was in there for a few months, and then I guess when he got out,
Mm.
because he was a what was it, journeyman studio tech. Like he would
Yeah,
help
yeah. And
set
he's a
up
musician.
he was an audio engineer.
Yeah,
In
a
addition to
very
being a
talented
musician
musician.
and a radio host, he would set up the mics and things for
Mm-hmm.
big concerts. I remember him mentioning met some really cool people.
Yeah.
Uh, some really big names and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm assuming that after that, I think that screwed up his living situation, his work situation. Not to mention just the fact that it's got to be incredibly traumatic. Like you wake up one day and they're calling you a terrorist and want you in
Pitiful.
prison for your whole life over a paintball gun. That's
Wow.
that's that's so stupid and wrong in so many ways. Yeah.
Please. Yeah, sorry, we're having some interruption. Studios.
Oh, yep. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels so
But
sad to
yeah.
hear it over the weekend.
Oh, what's that?
I said it feels so sad to hear about the news about Alex,
Mhm.
and he's
And
so young. He's
it's
just 51 years old.
right.
Mm.
And it's ironic because uh, it's literally coming up on. I had my best friend since high school and a guy that I'd corresponded with who I considered a mentor. I'd looked up to him since the '90s. Anti-Scientology critic Arnie
Mm-hmm.
Lerma.
Mm-hmm.
They both died. I guess it was the 15th of March, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like right there on the year anniversary. It's pretty. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I haven't.
Yeah, definitely. Prayers go out to all. All of his friends and family, everybody who appreciated his work. It's definitely
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's he was gone too soon, and it's definitely a real
Gone too
tragedy.
soon. Yeah. There's a. I'm seeing an article in the Gold Weather about Jesse Smollett raping a
Oh
girl.
wow, yeah, that's Anne's article. You talking about
Yeah.
Jussie versus the
As.
schizo asshole who raped me? Yeah, when I was sharing that via Facebook with some people, the way I described it, I love Anne's writing. She's great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, it's very darkly humorous. This story is no joke though. But the way I described it was, if you ever wanted to laugh at the same time as your blood is boiling over,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
then read this article, because it really is just uh, she explains how in in Chicago, by the way, they catch less than 1 in 6 murderers, less than.
Yeah.
And if it's not as serious a crime as murder, that
Mm-hmm.
rate goes down. So when she was raped, had a knife held to her and was raped, she contacted the police, told them who it was. They did a rape kit, and still nothing happened. They told her it would be 6 to 8 months before they could do the DNA test or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up, like, her choice was continue to live by the rapist who, what was it she was saying in the article about how, like, if you're going to rape someone, you don't say, now listen, I'm not going to kill you, because from that moment on, the only person or the only thing that the person who's being raped is going to think of is, oh my God, are they going to kill me? You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she dealt with that there in Chicago, and they didn't have the time or the resources. Dude, I've seen pictures of the whole Jussie Smollett thing, and they've got like 15 cops standing around, brushing through the ground and crap, looking for clues. So yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous considering how much time, money, and manpower they spent on this fake nonsense. Meanwhile, people are getting raped and killed and beat up and robbed in Chicago every day. They've got a very high crime rate and a very low solve rate.
In Chicago.
So yeah, her basic opinion on the whole thing is, just stop. Don't, we don't need to. She doesn't want to see him go to trial because a big trial, especially when he's going to have incredibly expensive lawyers, that costs the city to prosecute it. So he's costing the city more money and more time for their their overextended legal system. So she thinks that he's pretty much already gotten his just desserts, so to speak. What he wanted was to become famous and a household name overnight. Well, congrats, Jussie. You did that. It's not exactly how you imagined it, probably. But yeah, so if his aim was to become an overnight success, no, he's become an overnight joke. He's, all the people who did stand up for him, there was an activist who was saying, oh, he needs to go to jail. All the people who would have been cheering him on, even if he just kept on doing what he was doing, because he was supposedly an activist, and he wasn't just an artist and an actor, he was an activist. Well, now all those people hate him. So he's ruined his life.
Yeah, I was wondering how he's dealing with all these backlash.
Yeah, I can imagine it's not too pleasant.
Yeah. So is he going to the jail, or haven't been on checking the news this past weekend because I went on a holiday.
I think it's here within the next almost week. I think it's like right after St. Patrick's Day, around the 17th or 18th or something. He's supposed to go to trial.
This week?
The latest I've heard with that is they're trying to, someone in Chicago, like it sounds like some folks immediately knew that he was lying and wanted folks to know that, so they leaked information to the press, right? Meanwhile, the pro-Jussie folks in the Chicago system want him to skate by, and his judge has allowed him to fly off to California and to New York, which is not generally generally you're not supposed to leave town when you've got like a felony trial you're up on in a couple weeks. So yeah, there's definitely a chance that he might skate by, but like Ann mentioned, he won't skate by because he's achieved the opposite of his aim. He's not going to get work in Hollywood. He's not going to, he will have to completely reinvent himself, learn new skills, and get a new job, and not to mention the lawyers and crap that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
He hired the crisis management PR firm that Harvey Weinstein had. He's
Oh.
hired one of the lawyers that Michael Cohen had. So these folks don't work cheap. So I'm pretty much guarantee that his money is going to be drying up, and it's gonna really suck for him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Also, there's an article on the Goldwater. FDA Commissioner and Pharma pal Scott Leave resigns.
Oh man, and
And you
instantly as
also
soon as that
wrote this
news.
article, yeah.
Oh yeah, so many folks in the kratom community are so happy about this because the guy, this is the same guy who helped lobby for the fentanyl folks. So like fentanyl was in trouble with the government because they'd been illegally marketing the drug. It was supposed to only be for folks who were dying of late stage terminal cancer and when they were dealing with breakthrough pain. And then so they'd started giving it to all kinds of folks, like folks with back pain, here, take it home. Like it was supposed to be only used in a hospital under a doctor's supervision. And when it started being used by more people, there were more cases of accidental overdose and addiction. And Scott Gottlieb was part of the reason why fentanyl didn't get in trouble for that, and in fact was allowed to market it to more people and make more of the drug. So, in my opinion, Scott Gottlieb is a big reason for the current opioid epidemic in the U.S. So, the fact that he would then go after kratom, which for a lot of people has been the cure for I know a lot of folks that have used that have chronic pain or debilitating illnesses, and they were tired of taking OxyContin or fentanyl or whatever it is that the doctor gives them because it dopes them up, and they wanted to it's not buzz seekers. A lot of these folks are like grandmas and grandpas who want to play with their grandkids without their eyes rolling back in their head.
Yeah,
So
this
yeah,
is
the
why
fact
I
that
think using of kratom or the marijuana is kind of helpful and less
hmm
um dangerous for people's health to cure pain. And
right.
I haven't tried anything, and I hope
hmm
they will approve using medical marijuana in the
Yeah, I
Philippines.
mean,
So
medical marijuana have
Well, they
proved
did
speaking
to
in
be
of,
very
we
Thailand.
have
effective.
a man who's studying in medical. Yeah. Do you agree with
Yeah,
Yeah,
that?
Thailand
yeah,
just made
I mean, marijuana
both
as
marijuana
long
and
as it's
kratom
for
finally
medical
legal
uses, it should be
Yeah,
legalized
medical.
for
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right, for
because
medicinal
it
purposes,
proved
of
to
course.
be
Like,
very effective with Parkinson's disease and stuff like that.
Yeah, and pain.
mm,
Yes.
I would want to try it when I'm having, dysmenorrhea. Sorry. Okay, I won't go further in a very graphic details.
The doctor won't describe it for that
you
reason,
know,
though.
Really? But
Queen
I've seen
Victoria,
tons
Yeah.
Queen
of
Victoria, the Queen
oils.
of England, used cannabis tincture when she had her, for menstrual cramps or whatever.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like there's millions of tiny knives stabbing my abdomen.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah.
Horrible.
Now, here's my one fear. Apparently, and the American Kratom Association will be sharing this info in a press release soon. But let me just say, I know some people who know some people,
You know, some
so
people who
sometimes I
knows
get
some
word
people.
early. In Indonesia, where most of the kratom in the U.S. and the rest of the world is grown,
Mhm.
Scott Gottlieb, before he stepped down, talked to the Indonesian Minister of Health,
Mhm.
and they're considering scheduling it. Like they've got a proposition in their Congress or whatever, in their
Yeah.
version of the House of Representatives, the lower house or whatever, and it's a 5-year plan. Everybody who grows kratom, they would have them moving to a new crop. They would be retrained and all this kind of crap. And this is because, from what I was hearing, it was Scott Gottlieb. It's like, I swear, it feels like I don't know, like walking out the door and throwing a grenade behind you as you leave.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly how I feel about that whole situation. Because back in January, there were rumors
Mm-hmm.
that he was going to step down or be replaced. And I remember him he shared something on Twitter about, no, those are just rumors, and I'm here to stay.
Oh. But Phil got disconnected when he said, "I'm here to stay." He's gone. Hmm. Hello, dude, you got
Sorry
cut
about
out.
that. I think the call dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, just when you
But yeah,
say
so
you're here to stay. Anyway.
so Gottlieb, it sounds like he's done his best to get his way here. But once again, I've seen the kratom community come together and make some near miracles. They've had the DEA and FDA have to consider facts because it's not just the folks whose lives have been changed. There are doctors and scientists and researchers and forensic toxicologists and medical examiners. There are a bunch of professionals with expert opinions who have been very vocal about why kratom should remain legal and available for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to sound all conspiracy theory or whatever, but there is no reason in the world why people would want fentanyl legal and kratom and marijuana to be illegal, except for money.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, money is what greases the wheels of legislation. That's
correct.
there's a saying, something about
Money
you
makes
don't
the
want to be
world
there
go
to
round.
see the sausage or the laws being
That's what
made
other
'cause
people
it's
say.
gross.
Mhm. Yeah, but I always want to avoid taking pain medicine and stuff whenever
It's
I'm in
terrible
pain.
for the kidneys and the liver,
Yeah, yeah.
It's really terrible.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when like I have pain and stuff, I just take in like turmeric and ginger and stuff like
Or
that.
take chamomile tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anti.
So they're
turmeric.
natural.
I take turmeric pretty much daily because my knees. Yeah, it's one of the. It's turmeric is as potent and NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, than a lot of the prescription medications that are NSAIDs. And the difference is, most prescriptions, like, they're not good for you. That's just the fact of it. Now, I believe that pharmaceuticals and psychotropics and things have their place, but if you can fix it with vinegar and some Chinese herb and some plants from the jungle, do that, because often that is as effective. I lived with a chick who had severe neuropathy, and not only did kratom and kava and some other herbs, Corydalis was another that she used, but yeah, not only were they more, had fewer side effects and didn't have the addictive potential, but she found them more effective for her pain, So not only was it not doping her up and didn't make her addicted to the stuff, but also it worked better. And on top of that, there's, most herbal medicines don't just fix a problem. they've got health benefits.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, so like I take the turmeric for my knees, and it's also good for my brain. Isn't that
Yeah.
awesome? You know?
You can mix turmeric with almond milk, and it will
Yeah,
taste
it's really great.
Oh yeah.
really good. Yeah, turmeric and
Yeah, you know,
almond milk.
almond milk is also good for your brain. There's some kind of
Yeah,
terpenes or something in
magnesium.
there that, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
magnesium. Now, I
Yep.
always want to talk about healthy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I've been to the doctor like the past week because I'm having terrible back pain since October last year.
Mine is
And
every
finally,
day.
yeah, and finally I got to get my physical therapy and I started yesterday. My doctor asked me if am I taking pain medicine whenever I'm in
Mm.
pain or how am I dealing with it?
Mm.
I told him as much as I can tolerate the pain, I won't take any pain medicine. Instead, I'm gonna hot compress my back.
Mm.
Yeah, till I fall asleep.
Mhm.
Usually the
Yeah.
pain,
I bought a, what do you call it? A back brace.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's a posture
yeah.
corrector.
You bought? You bought
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. I ordered it. I ordered one from Lazada. It was like
I
it
need
was like
that.
about 2,500 pesos,
Yeah,
so
I also
like
need
almost
that.
$50. But I didn't want to get one of the cheap ones because they had a bunch of cheap ones,
Yeah.
and all the reviews on the cheap ones. Like you can get one for $8 to $12, but look at
Uh-huh.
the reviews on those. Oh, it didn't fit, and it was uncomfortable, and it didn't even work.
Yeah.
So I got the one that had decent reviews, and it cost way more than the others, but it seems to work. Yeah, and it's it definitely for me because I know a lot of my back pain comes from the fact that I sit hunched over a computer most
Uh-huh.
of the day, every day.
Yeah, my therapist yesterday asked me if what kind of activity that I do most of the time. And I told her that I use the stationary bike at the gym. And then she's like, is your posture right? It's like, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Mm.
Probably not. That's why it's aching. But I had like a muscle strain. And physical therapy is what I really need to fix that thing. So I'm happy
Right.
that I'm doing this. So also I'm looking forward to be well and healthy. I would want to run on the marathons again and doing yoga and stuff.
Yeah, like you're probably like me. When you eat well or exercise, when you're doing things good for your body, not only does that stuff make you feel better naturally, but
Yeah.
for me, I feel good about having done something good for my body. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, like
I've
in
seen you
addition to
going to
the
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 gym
boost, I
too.
get like a yeah.
Yeah. When you do good, you feel good. And vice
Mhm.
versa. So yeah. Um okay, what else do we have here? Hmm. So yesterday they put me on a machine where like they're putting weight like on the lower part of my body and then they're pulling it.
Uh huh.
What was
They're
that?
pulling my body, like stretching it. It's
That's
Like
called
hands
the
traction.
and legs?
rack,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
Traction. What?
Yes.
They used to use that in the Middle Ages for torture. I know what
Traction.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
I've seen like YouTube videos and it's for the back, like
Mm.
when you have compression on your
Yes.
spine. So they have to stretch it. On I've
Uh
seen
huh.
YouTube videos like people doing it by themselves. And there's like two people on your hand and then there's two people in both of your legs and
Yes.
they're like pulling you.
Yeah. But if it's not professional, that can lead to hernia.
Hernia.
If it's not done by a professional,
Hernia?
yes. A backbone
Oh
can be
yeah, yeah,
herniated.
Herniated disc.
like
Yeah, the herniated
chiropractic
disc.
type stuff
Yeah, yeah,
I've been
can
herniated
be
to
disc,
really
not
dangerous.
yeah.
You
hernia.
can end
Sorry.
up you could end up actually accidentally paralyzed if somebody didn't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and
So I was like kind of afraid yesterday. So I did the two parts of the therapy, which is like part one is like a hot compress and
Mm.
massage. two is like the exercise, like
Mm.
stretching. And then my therapist said, "Okay, ma'am, let's go to the traction." And it's like I saw the machine, and then
Are they going
she's
to
like,
divide
I was
me
like,
into two halves?
"Oh my god, this is like a circus show." And I was like, I'm afraid that my body will be separated into like manananggal. So
Oh, is that the herb?
the the monster, the Philippine monster, where
Oh wait, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's sort of
the
like an ostrich.
aswang,
It's got the
yeah,
double body or the
mm,
half body that flies around. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. Is that the one that like feeds off of pregnant people? It's
yeah,
like a
yeah. Who the
it's the
monster that
Filipino version of
has
a Pontionic. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that has a very long tongue that usually targeting pregnant women.
Yeah, to
This
eat
is very
the
interesting.
babies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
and stuck the
the
baby
Indonesians
inside
call
the
it a Pontionic or Pontianak.
inside the woman's womb. Tummy or tummy. But anyway, it feels so relaxing though that I had traction and I was on the machine for 20 minutes. Imagine that. I fell asleep. It's like a massage. Okay. We also have we recently interviewed Malik Obama, and I'm seeing a very
Oh
young
wow, yeah.
picture of him with his half brother, the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. So
Yeah,
how did
yesterday
they
he
get
saw my
separated?
article.
Yeah,
He
how did
called it fantastic, but he said that twice. So I'm very
oh
proud. I actually did put a lot of time and effort into the feature we did based on the interview. So I'm glad that he appreciated it as well.
oh yeah. I'm seeing that you and Malik are exchanging um DM.
Yeah, dude.
And
He
it feels
followed me
yeah,
a couple
somehow
weeks ago.
it feels
Yeah.
good that he's really connecting to the gold water.
Oh yeah, yeah. He obviously he likes it. You can tell he actually
Yeah, he
really
likes
likes
it.
it.
Well, I'm glad, and you guys did a good job and you interviewed him. I hope there's a
Yeah,
second
it
one.
makes me feel great.
Hmm. So how did they get separated? Did he move? They're just half brothers,
I
right?
think I think Barack was raised uh by his stepdad,
Oh.
who is whose last name is Satoro, so he was Indonesian.
Mm.
So yeah, and he actually went by the name Barry Satoro for quite a while. I saw a
Barack
video of
Obama?
when he was yeah, yeah. I saw a video of when he was taking the bar exam in Chicago in like the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked him, what is your name? And he's like, Barry Satoro. Have you ever gone by any other name? No. They make you swear under oath that your name is your name, and you never went. Well, hold on now.
But
Then how come your birth certificate is another name than the only name you've ever gone by?
yeah.
And what's crazy is that was one of those videos that like watch this video because it won't be on the internet long. And oh my gosh,
It was
I was searching for
deleted.
that video a couple weeks ago. I was going to embed it. You can't find it anymore. It's,
Really?
the evidence of him lying about his name under oath is gone.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then how
speaking
did
of that,
he
I mean,
became Barack Obama?
Malik caught him in a lie in our interview and in the article I mentioned where he apparently lied about his granddad.
Mhm.
The book he wrote, he wasn't there. He didn't know what went on. You know, he made up some of that stuff.
Oh. And then later on, he became Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack made up some stuff about his grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Barack and Malik's grandfather was a cook in the army, and Barack claimed that he was tortured because he was a spy. And Malik is like, no, he was a cook. He wasn't a spy. He was a cook. He wasn't tortured. And I was looking up more about that, and there's very few places, but a couple. London's newspaper, The Telegraph, also mentioned that some dude interviewed a bunch of folks that knew their grandfather, and they said the same thing. Yeah, no, he wasn't. He wasn't a spy. He wasn't tortured. That's complete bull, you know. But yeah, Barack Jr. is a piece of work. Let me tell you. You know, I can only hope that as the years go by, the truth will continue to come out because people want to believe that he's so great. But if you look at his actual record, he deported more than Trump. He had more drone strikes on brown people than Trump. All the stuff that people call President Trump racist for, Barack did 10 times as much. But since he's half black, nobody mentioned it. Like, I swear, that's absolutely the reason why most
Yup,
people
I agree to that.
didn't bring up all this stuff.
Very interesting.
And I'm afraid that that's going to continue to happen. Like, just like any females that are running for president, if you say anything about, like, well, this person lied, this person, you know, they're corrupt. If you say anything like that, you're a misogynist. You know, that's exactly how they're going to do it. You know, let's say it's Cory Booker. Oh, you're racist. It's not that you don't like his policies or things he's done. You know, nobody is allowed to attack a woman or a minority or a gay person based on,
if you're gonna,
you know, their actual.
If you're gonna make a comment about this new Marvel movie, you know, Captain Marvel is a woman. If you'll say, why is she a woman? You're a feminist. You know. There was a magazine.
Yeah, they're claiming.
Yeah, I was.
Whenever a movie does badly, it's the Russians or misogynists every time. Like, God forbid that the remake of the Ghostbusters was just a crappy movie. It couldn't be that.
It's so funny.
You
They're
know?
like all girls.
Yeah.
Funny girls.
I've got an article about the Captain Marvel thing that'll be dropping in the next day or two.
Really?
And a feminist magazine said, oh, you know, only men were the ones who. No, there were a lot of women. A woman at the AP, at Associated Press, at Time Magazine, some big name female reviewers hated that movie. Is it because they're misogynist? No, some of these women are feminists. They just hated the movie because it wasn't good, you know? So yeah, they're trying to claim that it's Russians and alt-right trolls or misogynists every time your movie fails.
Okay.
Dude, that's, you know, but people buy it. People fall for that crap.
Yeah, I know. There's like tons of. I'm like looking. I thought Captain Marvel is a man.
It was originally, yeah, but you know they gotta change everything around, make all the male characters women, make all the white characters, and you know I've seen this argued by folks, but you know I've seen more than one black person make the argument that, hey, instead of turning white characters black, why don't we create black characters that are black? You know, like
Black Panther.
Instead of just copying something that already exists, like make a new character.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, Black Panther is one of the most,
movie.
especially since the movie is one of the most well known black superheroes. But you know, there was what was it? Cloak and Dagger. That was a duo that was in Spider-Man a lot, and Cloak. One half of the team was a black guy, and there was Cable from X-Men. So, you know, there have been, especially since the 70s and 80s and on, there have been a few black characters. And, hey, no, I totally believe that it's great to have, like, diversity in comics. But instead of messing with the comic canon and changing everything around, make new characters, you know?
Yeah, make new characters. Make new heroes. You know, okay, we're running out of time. So it's been a great
talk. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil, for jumping in. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next week again. Bye bye.
Yep.